Hello, family. Celestial Farm Girl here. Just want you to know before I start how much I love you, how much I appreciate your likes, your subscribes, and your shares, um, and your comments. I just love it. I'm so grateful. It takes a lot of nerve for me to come on here every time. Believe it or not, I have to talk myself into it for about an hour and pray and ask God about what's the message going to be. So a few days ago I did a message on judgment on the devil, right? And so it's been on my mind, my heart a lot since then because I experienced some things through visions over the last 30 years. I've had visions my whole life, but I did have a vision of a descent into the underworld with Jesus, where he kicked doors down and released a prisoner that was held down there. And after that release, all the prisoners were released. And this happened 30 years ago. And as I was able to understand the message, which took some time and years because it was the beginning of my mission, and it was very complicated for me to try to understand, the vision of going down into the underworld. I wasn't a religious person. I didn't know a lot about the Bible. I was just introducing myself into reading about the Christianity. And so it took me a long time. And what I come to understand is that there was a time that was set for heaven and hell both to come back to this planet, and that those who were released from the underworld had a certain amount of years to situate themselves to get ready for judgment. Okay? So over the last 30 years, as you know, times have changed. And we've been under this severe hasting of like moving forward, great knowledge, spiritual knowledge, technology knowledge, um, just these two powerful forces pushing us forward, change, separation, switching up, things dying, things being brought to life. The minute something goes away and isn't anymore, something else is taking its place. So we are in the time of judgment. We have the Emperor here and Gemini, the twins, the magicians. They call it the lover, but Gemini is actually the magician, right? So what this is telling me is God has ordered these shifts. The Emperor, our great creator source. Now, when you hear me talk, you will hear me talk spiritually, but I also will speak with some science. Because God and science are one and the same. Everything can be explained almost, there's space between space. Even right now, between me and my camera, there's space, but that space is not empty. There are things in that space that I cannot see. And we call that the metaphysical world. These are things that are all around us, living. Everything's alive. Soup bowl, basically. And there's particles and atoms and eons and ions and neurons and gluons and barons, waves of thoughts and ideas, come at us in waves and thoughts. They're all out here in the air, which is the super consciousness. And so we all almost like begin to wake up at the same time, and it's all being shined out there to where we're all in this collective where we're waking up and we're beginning to understand that we are definitely headed into a new world. And so when the underworld was emptied, they were given their opportunity. They had so many years to um, become adapted to the new way of life that we were about to take off on. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And there's our adventure, you see. There's King of Wands, the boss. And here's the adventure we're about to take off on. And all low-level energies, in the old days, we would have called them demons, devils, phantoms, all these things, which are low-level, have a hard time being transmuted into higher level thought processes because we are moving up from our root chakra, which is, basically survival, to our passionate chakra, into our solar plexus, into our heart. We are now becoming heartfelt human beings, and the world is overpopulated. It is time for us to start thinking about the eternal life and to move forward into the next phase of Earth. And the low-level energies, or the underworld, were given this information on the night that Jesus went to hell, or the underworld, kicked down the door, and took the angel that they held captive down there and flew back up into the sun. And that's what I saw. I mean, it's a lot more intricate than that, believe me. But first, I would like to pull a card on just that part, because it's hard for me to tell this, because I know a lot of people ain't going to believe me. I'm putting myself out there. And so I just told you that Jesus, now I saw Jesus, talked to Jesus, asked Jesus a question. We went to the underworld, kicked some ass down there, broke open some doors, released some prisoners, and took a shiny man, or a shiny soul, a shiny, it was just like us, but I couldn't see a face. It was just shiny, but it was sick. You could tell it was dying. And it was Adam, the fire of life, our root chakra, is what I'm thinking. Anyway, because each one are an entity. Each one of our chakras carries a certain spirit in it, or a character. King of Cups. King of Cups. Now I'm going to read from my book to make sure I get the definition right, but this is a man of love. Probably Jesus. Anyway, let's say that we've got this guy here. He's full of love. He's offering a cup of love, not only to himself, but to others. He brings love. He shares love. He gives love. I'm reading out of my Zodiac book. This is water and earth. Water and earth. And we got the King of Cups. The King of Cups offers stability and feeling through the earth element. He knows how to control his emotions so that they can become fertile ground for others as well. Like Queen of Cups, he can listen, and his listening transforms and heals. He is connected to the world of the arts and uses imagination as his main power. That's why he must remain aware and not lose himself in daydreaming or yearning on emotions. He must remain firmly centered and rooted in his power. Key words: power of imagination, listening, healing. Okay, so I'm telling you that Jesus and I, as a witness, saw that we went down to the underworld. The doors were unlocked and kicked open. The prisoners were released, and that's exactly what they were called, prisoners. God called them prisoners. Okay, were released. The notice was given. Heaven and hell met up that night, and that's no joke. Now I'm trying to think of a card to pull on that. Heaven and hell came together that night. A purple angel was there. I learned later that that's a possibility, that that was Archangel Michael, the sword of truth, because I did call out for truth. I was on a spiritual adventure, and, I was angry all of a sudden at Satan. I can't tell you everything that brought me to this point, but I'm going to tell you the point where I walked out into the yard and I told Satan that he was wrong, that Jesus Christ should have been left on this planet because he was changing the people's hearts for the good. And I want the truth of why he was crucified, because I did not believe that God would send his son to die that I might live, because it just sounded creepy to me. Creepy. I didn't know, a father that sent one son to go save a bunch of people, who were a bunch of, that didn't know shit. Why would father do that? Why would you give up your son? Because I have to say, I wouldn't give up my son. I wouldn't allow my son to go through that. And so I questioned Satan that night. And when I did, heaven and hell broke loose. I kid you not. Heaven and hell broke loose. The maiden coming out of the wormhole. See the wormhole behind her? Back here. Find it back here. It's back in here. She came out of the mist, right? She came out of the mist. Out from between those two rocks. Now I'm going to read this. It may take a minute for us to get to the judgment part, but this is the beginning of judgment and how it had to happen. Because somebody had to be willing to be taken to do these things, because, it's not easy going on vision quests. God's serious business, right? God, creator, is serious business. This card is number 2, the maiden. Let's go way back in here in the beginning, back to the beginning. Wow. We're going to number 2, the maiden. Wow. Fresh, young, beautiful. Ready to look at life with beautiful heart, beautiful eyes. Fertility, independence, self-esteem, confidence, self-expression, self-exploration, self-interest, sexuality, creativity, timidity. It's following your dreams. Release feelings of fear. Focus on discovery and self-discovery. Discover your passions. Discover your passions. Well, my passion from the beginning was to bring judgment in for what happened to Jesus. And there was no doubt about that, because in my mind, I could not imagine that, any father anywhere would ever send his son, to die for me. And so, with that being said, the lie that was told, where Jesus came to tell us about the Father, to tell us that judgment was coming for, he never did say who judgment was coming for, but he told us to behave ourselves, and he taught us how to act. What he didn't really say, or maybe he didn't know or didn't want to say, because, it would have been big trouble, is that the gods were the ones that were going to be under judgment. I'm going to take this card. Victory. The gods are under judgment. The eyes of Ra are for creation and destruction. But destruction comes first. Things have to be destroyed. or gnawed out or voided out or left behind. There are things that we no longer want to take with us, right? We're moving into a new phase, a new place in time. And it's all about energy now. See the energies coming down from the heavens? Because the breakthrough was made. There are conduits that are bringing forth this energy now. It is available. It's coming up out of the earth. It is coming up out of the earth. There was a well, like a water well. There was all kinds of horrible offerings that had been put in the well. And the well was cleaned out. And what I got to say now about judgment is these entities and these gods were all released from everywhere they ever were, or these energies. And the ideal was to transmute the energies from low level to high level, right? Higher level energies. That's where we're going. Heaven is high vibing, sharing, loving. It's unconditional love. It don't mean people can come around and run over you. What it means is that everybody should be treated with dignity and honor. And we should all be able to keep our dignity and honor, right? Right. And so that's what it's all about. Everybody deserves a piece of the pie that is on this planet, a house, knowing they have medical, knowing they have healthy food. Everybody deserves this without having to work 12 hours a day. And that's where we come to the evil system. Making money, living rich, stealing from God. Stealing from God, you say? How are they stealing from God? It's not theirs. It's not theirs. And you should not have to work so they can have their 6th yacht or their 20th mansion. It's not theirs. And now judgment is coming upon those people who have been ruling the world. They're actually not people, okay? Or else, because if they were humanity, they would have already made sure that the people didn't turn into beggars. They'd have made sure their wages covered everything, and not just did their wages cover everything, but that they were given proper hours, that they could spend time with their children, that they were given proper leeway to take vacations, to get away from it all, to have new experiences 2 to 4 times a year. We all are entitled to that. That would be bringing heaven to earth, and that is what we're doing. Angel wings, baby, temperance, angel energy. What I'm telling you is the truth. And so now the gods, are under judgment. They've had time to change. I don't know in what time frame that Jesus kicked open the doors of hell. I have no idea, because time is irrelevant in the spiritual world. It's all one time. Yeah, I'm going to draw a card. Jesus kicking in the door of the underworld. I have 10 of Wands. And releasing everybody. 10 of Wands, spiritual warrior. Ten Wands, release, carrying your baggage and going away. But the truth is that now, judgment is coming upon the heads of the rich, because they don't own this planet. This planet is not theirs. This planet belongs to God. And it's going to happen fast. Look at that. That's the Chariot. This planet belongs to us, to the children of the earth. And that's what it says in the Bible. And that's the only title I know of that's fitting to use, which means there's a space for everybody here on this planet. We should not have to fight to live. We should not have to work our fingers to the bone to live. We shouldn't have to be so separated from our families to live. That's not right. It's not the way it's supposed to be. And a better way is coming. And it's coming fast. It's coming, God says. A better way. What about the low-level energies? What happens to the energies that don't transform? We're ascending. That's what this says. We're ascending. We are ascending. The people on this planet are moving forward. It's not easy. But you know, how can we move forward and leave people behind? We can't do that. No, we can't do that, see? It's a give and take thing. We're all teachers. We all need to speak truth and figure out what we believe in. What do you believe? What do you believe? Do you believe you should be okay while you're here on this earth? Myself, I didn't ask to come here. And I was poor for the longest time. I walked from states to states. I've traveled America because I was always looking for something, wondering. I was a wanderer. I was born from a wanderer. I couldn't understand this place, and the reason I couldn't understand it because I had no home. I had no place to say was mine. I was always in survival mode. Always. Yeah, it's not fun being in survival mode all the time, but we shouldn't be in survival mode. Once our life is brought upon this planet, Mother Earth, our host, she wishes to accommodate us. She wants to. And it's time we stood up and spoke up for her. You know, you're leaving me homeless. You're leaving me beat down from working for you so much. You're leaving me separated from my family. My children are in danger. You know, some of us have to leave our children with strangers and babysitters. And, you know, there's so much going on. You don't even have a chance to talk to them at the end of the day about what went on with them. We're leaving our children bereft emotionally because we have to struggle so hard to live. It's not supposed to be like that. We left the caveman days, man. We should have left all that shit behind in the caveman. And we did for the longest time. We lived in settlements. We lived happily. Everybody shared a little of this for a little of that, and a little of that for a little of this, and we all had what we need. And people just, you know, they had good lives. They had time to hunt. They had time to, you know, gather food. They had time to watch their kids and teach them important things about the world and the earth and the planet and spirits and how life goes. Life and death. We don't get that no more. Right? We have to work really hard and space our time far apart. You know, to even have, you know, every 4 months there would be celebrations to bring in new seasons. There would be parties. There would be, you know, it was just a gathering, and everybody lived together very happily, of which we could do now. There's no reason why we can't. The world is rich enough. Your fathers, my fathers, we built this world. Okay, well, I don't want to go into this too long. I just wanted you to know that the judgment of the devil has been in my mind. I wanted to tell you the vision of the descent into hell with Jesus, or the underworld. It didn't look like a hell. It looked more like a sad, sad place that people were hanging out, you know. Low-level energies. And that's the truth. and we release them so they could be transformed. So transforming your energy and our energy is very important into higher levels. You guys have a great day. I love you, and please like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye-bye.